Okay, so I haven't done a video in a while because my family has been visiting, so I didn't want to do a video with them here. It's been 23 weeks on testosterone, which is next week is 5 months or 6 months. Kind of crazy. Um, I'm doing okay. I am, but I'm not okay. I mean, in some ways I am, in some ways I'm not. I'm hanging in there. I'm kind of upset that in 2 weeks I would have been moving to Manchester, but I'm not. But at the same time, I'm not, because it's gonna happen next year as long as I keep my grades up. But it would have been nice to move. It would have been nice to get into a supportive environment school-wise. I'm really pissed off at my college right now because they recently voted on adding in gender identity and sexual orientation to the college's list of like protected students. Um, but like we're one of the only colleges that don't have it in the state, and they were like, "Well, that's special treatment. We're not going to give it to you because our other kids are going to start wanting special treatment." Like, here's the thing about rights: they're called rights because you shouldn't be voting on them. So, especially because I've been in choir now since school started. I don't know if I said this or not. I joined choir because it was a nice class, and I needed, a nice like class that I can just kind of show up to. And I enjoy singing, but being on hormones and stuff for almost 6 months, it was like I used to sing soprano one. I'm not a soprano one anymore. I'm actually singing bass. And yesterday, well, actually, I guess this was 2 days ago. A lot of guys have been like saying shit like I shouldn't be singing with the guys and that I'm really a girl and blah 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 blah. And oh well, she's gonna have a sex change, and I'm like, please just stop talking about me like I'm not even here. Like I can't hear you. You were sitting like 2 seats away from me. I can hear you. Knock it off. I left class yes 2 days ago in near tears because my professor forgot that legally my name is Patricia and was like, who's Patricia? Like that's not a student here, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. It's Blake. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm in the process of legally changing it or whatever. And then like everyone was staring at me, and I just left like really uncomfortable and upset. Because yeah, people can call me things like tranny at school, and they can't do anything about it. So, because it's not a list of protected things. There's no gender neutral bathrooms. I've been yelled at for going into both bathrooms. I don't want to go to class. I'm fed up and tired of it. And, my uncle and my granddad have been visiting. They've visited for like a week and a half. And the last time they came to North Carolina was last June when I was living in Minnesota still. And I was kind of pissed off at them because my dad, who is not on board with my transition, I'd been only transitioning for hormone wise, I wasn't even transitioning physically. I'd been living full time as male since February. So it was like February, March, April, May, and then June. So it was like 5 months, maybe. But they have only known about it for like 3 months. Or 4 months. Because I told my parents in March. So they weren't, they were upset about it, whatever. But my uncle, apparently, my dad told me when I was living in Minnesota that, because they'd come out to visit for a couple of weeks, and then while I was out there, while they were visiting, my aunt passed away, so they went home. Um, but, and I came out to my aunt like a week before she died. And she told me, the last thing she ever told me was is that she loved me no matter what, and that, I had great courage for being who I was. But she passed away. So my dad told me that my uncle said that gender identity is kind of bullshit, not even a real thing. I'm just a super butch lesbian, which isn't even accurate because I'm attracted to all genders. So I was really pissed off. I don't know if my uncle said that, but my uncle's gay. So I was like, just because my uncle's gay does not mean that he has authority to speak as a trans person. I don't know if he ever said this. I didn't ask him about it because it just never came up, and it was like, this is a year ago. I don't care. I'm over it. But at the time, I was like, well, you can't just go to your brother as authority on what's like he's not trans, he doesn't get it. I mean, yeah, there's allies and stuff, but you don't get to speak on behalf of a trans person, just like I don't speak for all FTMs. I certainly don't speak for trans women because I'm not a trans woman, or a genderqueer person because I'm not. And I don't speak for all trans guys. Like, this is my experiences of it, but I'm not the only authority on what transgender is. I was pissed off. Um and then, October came around and I went to go visit my cousin because my cousin is dying and probably not going to live much longer, and I'm speaking at her funeral, and it's traumatic and upsetting. And anyway, so I saw them in October. Nobody was acknowledging it. I was actually told not to bring it up because my cousin has a 10-year-old kid and she doesn't want her to know because, you can't really explain that. But her kid was asking me what gender I was and, like, if I was a boy or not, and I had to say, no, I'm a girl. Like, how shitty did that make me feel? But my uncle didn't really talk about it. I didn't talk about it. Nobody talked about it. So it was just like, okay, cool. But this last visit, everyone was calling me, my birth name, and I just kept saying, all right, I'm just gonna go to class and come home, and I'm gonna deal with it because my granddad is 84 years old. I'm not expecting him to just start calling me Blake or anything. But my uncle, the last few days, even though it pissed my dad off, started calling me Blake, and he never really got the pronouns, but he just left and he hugged me and said, "Take care of yourself, Blake." And he called me like he. So he's trying, and it was like, I really don't think that my uncle said that, but my dad, being upset, said that he did. I'm not pissed off at my uncle anymore. I'm actually pretty proud of him. Um, because, like I said, every time I've seen family, they haven't done it. So that was pretty awesome. Um, I can definitely tell that my voice has changed. Last Saturday, I went to Raleigh to get hormones again, to get refill, and I was out for like 2 or 3 weeks, so I was doing gel, which I don't like. I'd rather do shots. I bruised my right thigh because I hit a vein the first time, so I had to re-stick myself, so my thigh's a little bit pissed off. But, it was good. Good to get back on hormones, but Saturday I went on a really, 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 really awkward date. And this guy was just like, oh, well, I came out as bi so that I could tell my parents that I was dating you. And I'm like, we're not dating. And it was just really awkward. And, like, he ordered drinks, and it was like 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And it was just like, you shouldn't be doing that. So then he was just like, well, how fast is too fast for you? And so I was like, well, I'm moving to Manchester, like, in the next year. So and I was like, my last boyfriend, whatever, I got really hurt, so I'm probably not ready. I don't know. And it was just like, when a date's bad, but you don't comment on the fact that a date's bad. Well, I figured that he took the hint. Well, when I drove home from Raleigh, which is like a 3-hour drive from my house, it was raining really bad. So, like, I courtesy texted him to be like, hey, I made it home. And then he was like, well, when can I see you again? And I'm like, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure. I know that I'm going back to Raleigh in December, but I'm like, no, I don't want to meet up with this guy. We went on a date for like 6 hours. Like, we went to breakfast, lunch thing. I hardly ate because I had done labs all morning and I was nervous, and I don't like eating in front of new people very much. Like, I'll do it, but I don't like it, and I just felt uncomfortable. And we had nothing to talk about. And then we went to the museum in Raleigh and like stared at dinosaurs. And then we went to a movie, which was a really awesome movie, but like I was just like, it was like one of those like seats where you can like put the like armrest up so then you can like cuddle, and I was like, you better not try and cuddle with me, buddy. Like, I don't want to cuddle with you. And just the entire time it was like, I like someone else. I like Nikki, and you're not Nikki, and I'm scared of getting hurt, and she's in Manchester, and like blah 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 blah. But yeah. So it was just like he's got to know that this date is a dud. Well, today yes, last night he texted me, but I was driving home from class, so I didn't really answer, and then he was like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Because he will text me, and like I'll kind of avoid him because I don't want to be rude, but I'm like, okay, you got to be getting the hints that I don't like you that way. Like, you're a creep. You came on way too strong and scared the shit out of me. I don't want to date you. Please go away. So, my friend Jasmine was like, you should just write a novel about like all the mishaps you've had dating. And I'm like, I could definitely do that because I've got some stories, let me tell you. So and then I was telling Nikki about this, and she was like, and then he was like asking me like when we could have sex, and how we would have sex, and I was like, no, not okay. So I was not okay with this, and today I was just like, hey, listen, I'm moving to Manchester in July or September. I'm damaged goods. Like I'm not ready. You're nice, but I don't want to date you because like I couldn't be mean to him. I know how it feels to like someone that doesn't like you back, and so I don't want to be rude. But it was like, really, how I have sex is none of your goddamn business unless you are actually sleeping with me, and I don't want you to sleep with me, so please don't ask me. But, so Nikki was just like, well, we flirt with each other all the time. Nikki and I have had this thing for like a year, going on over a year now, where we like each other, but she's there and I'm here. And like I said last time, I think it was last time, we dated for a while, but then like for like 2 or 3 weeks, but then we were like, this isn't good. So, but whatever. But we flirt with each other all the goddamn time and Snapchat each other and like text each other. And I got my UK number, and I'm like, as soon as this is active, dude, like we can text now because we both have iPhones, so it's like an international thing. But I'm like, as soon as I get my UK number, dude, we're texting. But she was like, how would you feel about moving in with me in July? And you and I can just get like a 2 bedroom flat. And I'm like, that'd be freaking fantastic. Cause I mean, yeah, even though they put me in like a really good dorm, I'm like, I would rather live with like Nikki because her and I know each other and it's not an issue. And our campuses are literally like right next to each other. So this is awesome. This is good. I told my mom about it, and my mom was like, I'd rather you live with Nikki anyway. And then, but I was telling her about this guy who was already like, sex, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, just tell him that you're going to have sex with me. And I'm like, I don't even think about having sex with Nikki. Like, I don't. I like her. I genuinely like her. Like, I've liked her pretty much nonstop for a year, except for when I dated Theo. Um, and to me, it's not even about sex, but it was just like, I don't want to have sex with Nikki. I want to, like, date Nikki. I don't just want to be like, hey, let's be screw buddies. And no, like, I don't want to do that. So living with her is either going to be super awesome or it's going to be like, oh, damn it. Like, I really like her, but she likes me, but we have this thing. So it's a thing. I really like her, though. So, but yeah, so today I told this guy that, I basically said, so you know how I told you the last time that I got really hurt? Well, I did. And I don't think I'm ready to date again. I think you are a great guy, but I'm not ready. I'm sorry. Plus, I'm moving to Manchester in either July or September, and it's not fair to you. It's really not you, it's me. But if you want to be friends, we can. I really don't want to be friends with this guy because he's kind of a creep, but whatever. I didn't want to be a total asshole either. Oh, he offered to move to Manchester with me, and it was like, this is like the first date. You need to go away. Like, that's creepy. So, that's what's up. I don't know when I'm gonna update again. I'm doing my shots on Saturdays now instead of Mondays, but yeah, Monday will be, I think it's Monday. Oh, let's look at, yeah, like, Monday is, or not Monday, a week from Monday is, it's 23 weeks on T, I know that. But basically, yeah, it's 23 weeks on T. But, not the next Monday, but the week after. So 2 weeks from now is 6 months on T. What else? My parents are going out of town, so I'm house watching for like a week because they're moving. My sister lives in Minneapolis, and she moved apartments, so they're going out there to like get her furniture and stuff. So I'm kind of upset that I don't get to go, but I'm staying home. I haven't stayed home by myself for like a week ever. The last time that my mom, my parents were home alone, basically. Theo came over and took care of me because it was right after surgery, and so he just spent a week at my house. And I haven't talked to him in months. Sometimes I want to, just to be like, hey, you and I were really close friends and whatever, dating. Now, like, he's not in my life at all. I haven't talked to him in like 4 months. Part of me wants to tell him, be like, hey, guess what? I got into England, so hey, I'm gonna go next year. But I know that he doesn't really care, so I'm just not talking to him. This thing has gotten really long. I need to go. That's my life right now, so I'll talk to you guys later.